Here's the boring mix. Here's the same mix, but with the secret applied. Hear the difference? So, what is the secret? Today, I will be talking about transients and how handling of your mix's transients can make or break your mix. So in case you don't already know what transients are, I'll break it down for you. The word transient means short-lasting or short-lived. But in the audio world, a transient is a short, sharp peak in the amplitude of a waveform, usually at the beginning. In other words, the transient of a sound is the short and loud part of that sound. They're typically found in percussive instruments, in the striking of a guitar, and even in human speech. The transients are responsible for the bite, the snap, the presence of drums, the clarity of consonants, and the ability for certain sounds to cut through a busy mix. There are many ways to take advantage of transients in a DAW environment. When working with drum sounds, I like to take that same drum sound and duplicate it. On the copy, I will shorten the length that it is playing to encapsulate only the very beginning to artificially boost the transient. What this does is amplify that beginning part relative to the rest of the drum. See what a difference it makes? It isn't just louder, it hits harder. The stars spell your name. With complex waveforms, compressors can be rigged to bring out the transients in things like vocals. By compressing harshly on an audio waveform, but leaving a generous attack time, or the time it takes for the compressor to kick in, you essentially quiet everything down but the transients, making them relatively louder. Then, you just boost out the outgain to make up for the compressor's gain reduction, and now you have louder transients. This method is better when you need to automate the transient boosting process. Even sounds that don't typically have transients can benefit from a short volume boost at the very start. Take this lead. We can make it pop more by adding a volume envelope that starts off loud and quickly gets quieter. This will just give that sound a bit more attack coming in. There are also transient VSTs out there that allow you to get more specific with the transients. These often include filtered inputs, saturators, and more precise timing, but I don't have one of those today, so I won't show it. Besides, you can still have fine control over your transients with clever effects chaining. Now, I can hear some of you saying, well, wouldn't boosting a sharp peak at the beginning of your sound without increasing the volume of the overall sound just decrease the amount of headroom you have on that sound when you need a mix? This is true, you do decrease the headroom, but here's the thing. Transients only last for milliseconds, and your brain has a threshold in which a peak in volume is so short, you cannot detect it. This means you can clip or saturate a transient in lots of cases without a remarkable difference in perceived loudness, regaining some of that headroom back, but be careful you don't clip too much though. It should also be mentioned that there are times where you'd actually want to quiet down your transients. Sometimes the effect the transient has on the overall music just isn't that important, so it's best to save your headroom and just diminish its prominence. Anyways, this is just meant to be a short video today. Shameless plug, I do mixing, $10 a track, 2 free revisions. I do this so you can spend more time making music, which is what we'd all be doing with our time if we were being honest. If you're interested, email me at soundandcolor.yt@gmail.com. That's color spelt the American way. Follow me at IzzyMachine on Instagram to see what I'm up to, and subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching.